Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host Jan. I do hope you're doing well. I really do hope that. Welcome back to Chelsea News, which of course is the daily series here, and sometimes twice daily series here on the channel where I reflect on what's being said about Chelsea, giving you my thoughts, feelings, and opinions on it, for whatever that's worth. But more importantly, asking for yours. I just realised when I did the crash zooms, you can see the multiple spots I have on my forehead, which can only be generated from the stress of this ruddy football club, Chelsea Football Club. But yes, in the second video of today, in today's piece of content, this one, we're looking at the update just from today from Footy Headlines about next season's home kit, which I must say does look nice. It really does. I know in the time of wanting to just win football matches, which by the way we're going to speak on as well with Liam Rosenior's pre-match press conference comments. We're going to get into that as well, but the kit does look naughty. Eventually they're going to have to stop, just doing nice kit designs. I mean, come on. They got me with this one last, with the old, 90s style kit with cause. I think of Rude Hurt when I see that, for those of you watching videos. I mean, the ruddy sods got me with this as well. Sorry, for those listening to audio, I'm just hopping back and forth, picking out shirts. They don't deserve my money, these man, at the moment. They really don't, but I do like the kits, and it's fun. I'm doing it for me, yeah? Not to give you money, because I like the kit. So we'll be looking at Footy Headlines, having a quick deep dive. Well, it's not going to be that deep. I just want to show you the designs, basically. There's been a really cool edit that I'm probably going to put in the thumbnail from Instagram account, SW6 Daily. So shout out to them. I also want to mention what something else, if it's not covered in Liam Twomey's piece on The Athletic, what Soraya said in a question to him about basically getting involved with set piece stuff. It had a little bit of a reaction from him actually, which is really interesting, so we're going to get into that as well. Thanks for joining me as always. Delighted to have you here, my friend. If you want to support the ting, you're welcome to like and subscribe, all that stuff. If you choose to subscribe, you should hit that sweet bell, baby. And of course, available on all podcast platforms. Just search Football Therapy Podcast, and on Spotify you can check out the video. That's nice. Check this out. Bam! I do suggest for those of you listening on podcast platforms, if you're on Spotify, switch to video, but on YouTube you'll see, or even if you're just listening on YouTube, have a look. Look at the video. Look at this. This was updated just today, 4 hours ago, by a chap called, who could only be described as Chris. Do you know that? Reminds me of this is going to be one for the teenagers, so apologies. I'm a big Monty Python fan. In the Holy Grail, when John Cleese is playing that like a sorcerer, and they're like, "Who are you, one who can summon magic from fire?" And he just goes, "There are some who call me Tim," which I thought. I mean, it's my kind of humour, that. So, don't know why Chris brought me to Monty Python, but here we are. There we go. Look at that shirt. Firstly, nice blue. And this is the home shirt for next season. No. Which only starts in the summer. Hopefully, we'll be playing in the Champions League, but don't hold your ruddy breath, mate. As you will see, it will have a yellow Nike tick. Is that a check mark or a tick? Or is it a swoosh? I think it's a swoosh. And of course the old school Lions badge, which I must say looks mustard in every sense of the word. Oh, he's on it tonight, isn't he? The Crest is the 26 home kit will feature a yellow lion crest instead of the modern logo, which I endorse for a little bit of a refreshing change. We'll have the bright blue main colour with a Midwest gold and white. The design will be a simpler based on Nike's template debuting for the 2026 World Cup. A London-based designer involved in the process. All right, couldn't give F's about that, but we move. Footy Headlines can leak that Nike will not use the full crest, but the lion icon. Look, Look at that! I mean, it's nice. And I must say, because of the gold world champions badge, it kind of fits. It kind of suits. You know, it doesn't go against. Because not that like the current badge, maybe it clashes a little bit. And look, it's whatever. To be fair, I think our new temporary sponsor looks absolute buttocks. I think it looks ass. So on pure aesthetics alone, I hope we do go for something else. But this looks nice, man. Look. I mean, Estevao, he's in the edit. It looks good, bro. The Nike jersey combines blue. Yeah, Midwest gold. We've read that. Yada yada yada. That goes back with like influences from the past. Mock-up edit here with kit creator. The standout element is the lines, yellow lines crest. Let me know what you think, man. I mean, I must say I dig it, and I will probably buy it. And did I say rarely get home kits? I don't want to speak too much about kits. It kind of feels a bit like unedifying, especially in times where the players in the kits aren't doing the kit, the crest, the badge, the club, the fans well with their behaviours. My head has cooled a little bit since the Arsenal. I mean, look, losing 2-1 to Arsenal away. That in where they are and their development where we are, that's not the problem. The problem is that we've been losing to Arsenal for years. The last time we beat them was like 5 years ago at the Emirates. And Reece James was the only player in the squad now that was in that team. That's the problem. The problem is we keep losing to Arsenal. The problem is we keep getting players sent off. The problem is we keep conceding on soft set pieces, which we're going to cover both today. The rest of this video. Just to let you know, I did upload earlier about that stat, about the expected goals for and against, which was pretty shocking, really. And I heard it on the Londoners Blue Pod from CFC Sam. Do check it out if you're a nerd. Some people aren't into that. I dig it. You know, it's not for everyone. For those of you who remember me back in the day, I used to be called Jan the Statman. And I tell you a bit of background lore. I wanted to call myself Statman Jan, but because of Statman Dave, I just thought I can't do that. I can't do that. Like, that is, like, not that he'd, like, you know, it was, like, intellectual property to do that. And to be honest, he got other jobs. I don't know if he still refers to himself as Statman Dave. But Statman Jan has such a better ring to it. Statman Jan. Jan the man, that vibes. So I ended up calling Jan the Statman. But, Statman Jan I would have loved. Anyway, point being, I was always into nerdy stat numbers. And, still remain so, even if it's not the most sexy thing at the moment. But football isn't sexy right now. It is a lot of data. It's a lot of sporting directors. It's a lot of set pieces. It went a bit viral, the Arne Slot video that's gone round with him talking about how football, you know, is not as he prefers watching the Eredivisie at the moment, and the set pieces, and, you know, how goalkeepers aren't protected. And although it's a little bit like, I know they're in a bit of form now, Liverpool, and they're certainly doing better than us. But it's a little bit like you spent $500 million and you've been, by what's expected of you, quite poor. And now you're talking about, you know, crap the league is. But everyone's sort of like, apart from maybe Arsenal fans, sort of agrees. Like, football isn't really that sexy at the moment. And you know what's not sexy as well? Rosenior. I was hoping for the title. That sounds like I was just slagging off our gaffer. No, look. He's a good-looking guy. If I was of that inclination, sure. But what I really was trying to do was transition to this title. Poor discipline. This is not sexy. Discipline is sexy. God, that sounds like I'm into sort of weird kinks. I'm failing left, right, and centre today. But we move. Yeah, so this is an article from Simon Johnson about Rosenior warning Chelsea players that will be dropped for poor discipline. So this is really the big question. We were saying, how do you fix it? Do you fine them? They kept asking him about fines. As in the media, they were like, do you fine the players? And he was like, well, they don't going to worry about fines. Lampard was big on fines. I think maybe possibly Tuchel. I'm not entirely sure. But when you got a bunch of like these snotty-nosed kids and no like, well-developed, seasoned, matured individuals, and maybe they do need a fine. That's my sort of 2 cents on it. Brilliant. 2 cents. Fine. It's just all sort of linking up in my synapse. Anyway, Simon Johnson writes the following. Rosenior has warned his Chelsea players that he's going to start selecting the team based on which players he can be trusted to keep the discipline. Of course, Neto came off and then yada 2-1 defeat to Arsenal, yuck. The West London club, being us, have 62 yellow cards. Fucking hell, mate. I did not, we all know about the Reds, but 62 yellows, just chuck them in there on top, and 7 red cards. And this is just the Prem, bro. Imagine what it is across all comps. Mental! 62 yellows and 7 reds across 28 Premier League matches this term. That is... Yeah. Rosenior raised the issue as part of a standard team part of a standard team meeting earlier on the Monday, which of course is today at time of recording, insists such numbers can't continue. I agree, Gaffer. He says the following, quote, "The first thing is you pick the players that are actually showing you improvement." When he was asked about this disciplinary record, he'd go on to say, "I can't afford to go through the season where every 2 or 3 games there is a red card." Yep. It is not possible. That is true. I need to see improvement in that. I need to adjust my team selection based on who is showing me those capabilities. My job is to create a culture of responsibility. Culture. See, the whole LinkedIn thing, he doesn't do himself much favours, does he? Assignment. There was another thing earlier. There was the other day a marking assignment. There was something else. Scheme. He was talking about schemes. Assignment, schemes, and culture. I mean, culture's pretty big. Most gaffers use them. But it is part of that, high performance sort of generic stuff, innit? You can't go on with cards all over the gaff. I need to see improvement in that. I need to adjust my team selection based on who is showing me those capabilities. My job is to create a culture of responsibility. I think I've already read this. If you make a mistake, it's okay to hold your hands up, but to make sure it doesn't happen again. That's the problem though, mate. It's all different players. 9 different players. It's catching. It's like a virus. But you have to hold your hands up to the original mistake. If I make the wrong team selection or get something wrong, my job is to be accountable, and it's the same for the players in that moment. You need teammates to help you, but it comes down to yourself as well. Pedro has apologized to the group. I just need to see an improvement in behavior now. It's not just Pedro. I also saw some stuff about Pedro Neto not knowing he was booked, and that's the only way he could have made that challenge on Martinelli. He knew he was booked. I've since watched it back. He knew. I think maybe he was whinging about the first booking when he got the second, but he shouldn't be whinging at all. He should just straight be away. Yeah, I don't know. People speak about dissent, so do I. That's terrible. The amount of bookings for dissent for Chelsea. This is what you get when you've got the young team, though. It shouldn't be, but this is what you get. We have needless bookings in terms of fouls as well as dissent, he's saying. If we were to improve and get where we want to be, we need to make a conscious step now to make sure it doesn't happen again. Rosenior also revealed he is taking a more active role in practicing defending set pieces. Right, so yes, this is a shout-out. I need to shout out Sarah here. She does excellent questions in the press conference. I tagged her on an Instagram story saying as much, so I sent her a message saying, well done, keep up the good work. She asks excellent, prepared questions, and the kind of questions that we want to hear as fans, especially sort of like, basically you get a lot of like older journalists that perhaps don't really press these questions that we, I say younger people, I'm 37, but I'd say millennials and down, saying, look, are you going to get involved with the set-piece coach? I have been very, very heavily critical of Bernardo Cueva of late. I was excited when we signed him. I've said here on the channel that apparently we've got this really good guy. Arsenal have benefited massively from their set-piece coach. This guy's meant to be sick. Hopefully we benefit from this guy. I don't think we have. We've scored a bunch of goals from set pieces, so maybe he can be an attacking set piece coach, and we don't have to sack him. But defending set pieces, whether it's corners, whether it's free kicks, or indeed long throw-ins, it's been shambolic, bro. It's been embarrassing. And Chelsea, this is why my biggest gripe of the Pochettino era, just how our defence turned into a brothel where quite literally anyone could score. We've never been this soft. And this is what hurts the most with Arsenal at the moment, because it's role reversal. It's us with like loads. They used to have sort of smaller, diminutive, talented players that knock it around, and we used to just have the big boys that knew exactly how to. The Matt Davis Adams said, Totally Football Show, about Arsenal have perfected the S-housery, where they don't whinge to the ref and get dissent rolls, and they know exactly when to foul when the ref's not looking, and our players are the opposite. And it's back in the day that used to be us. We used to be physical. We used to beat up Arsenal and not let them knock it around. We used to bully them. We used to play on the line, and we used to S-house our way and just know we were going to beat them. You can have all the talented little silky players you want, but we're just going to beat you up and win every time. It's quite literally swapped. So on the set pieces, that's a huge part of that. Obviously, Arsenal score loads. You can criticise the league, the landscape of it being unsexy, like Arne Slot did, like I did earlier in this piece of content. But do you know what I mean? Like, it's a massive, massive weakness for us. So when Soraya said, look, are you going to do you have any involvement in this, like, in the coaching of defending set pieces? Because obviously it's been bad. And he just literally said, I do now, and started laughing. As in, like, up till, this loss against Arsenal, he's been leaving it to Bernardo Cueva and the other coaches. And now he's like, I don't care if I'm not a specialist. What the heck is going on here? Let me in the room. Stop it. Get out the way. Stop that. You sit down. Put that down. You leave. You stop that. Don't touch that. Sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? He used to come in and be like, everybody stop. Everyone stop what you're doing. Put everything down. Tell me what the ruddy heck is the plan here, because you are all a disgrace. That's what I'd be doing, man. So I'm glad he was like, yeah, I am now. Do you know what I mean? Get me in the room. And I hope it was a bun the sporting directors, but screw all you, man. If you said, I'm not allowed, let me do, the medical team does their job, which Maresca was annoyed with. These men do their job. Him just saying, yeah, I'm willing to work with you, sporting directors, and all of your medical hierarchy stuff, but I am getting in that room with the set piece defense, man, because this is absolutely disgraceful. Chelsea have conceded the second highest in the Premier League from set pieces, 9, but have allowed 10 and 13 in all competitions since Rosenior was appointed 2 months ago. Poor. The club hired Bernardo Cueva, the aforementioned, from Brentford to look after this department in 2024, but conceded twice from corners on Sunday's defeat to Arsenal, alongside scoring from their own. Yeah, Arsenal's tough because they score against everyone with corners, but we literally concede to everyone from corners, so that would be a bigger indicator. Every manager has a different idea on how you attack and defend set pieces, says Rosenior. I have taken more responsibility in the last week because I know it's something we have to improve. Bernardo has proved what a fantastic set piece coach he is. In terms of offensive output, indeed, we do score some goals. We're among the best in the league for goals scored. Yeah, I'm fine with the amount we score. I've missed the old, centre-back heading in a goal. Cole or Fofana, the good old days last season or whatever it was. That will come back, though. But we're not awful, swinging them in and lashing a foot at it. I miss, a sort of just classic centre-back header. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, defending set pieces. So I'm so pleased he's saying, look, he's taking more control. Bernardo's good at attacking set pieces. All right, let's land this plane. It's not just down to coaching; it's down to focus, concentration, and mentality. By the manager taking control of that, hopefully from the mentality point of view, the mentality goes up. I don't know what the hell that means. If something's got to change, and if that changes something, then I'm on board, because I am literally on the cusp. If I watch one more soft corner, long throw, free kick, direct free kick, any of that stuff, just disgracefully bundle into our goal, I am walking into the sea, slowly but assertively, And I will either become, an aquatic man and live with the Little Mermaid, or I will go and descend into the underworld. It's on you, Chelsea. Anyway, let me know your thoughts. I do like the kit, though. That's nice. Thank you for liking and subscribing on YouTube, following and 5-starring on your podcast apps. I will be here. We will get through it together and look after each other. The world's pretty effed up right now. We don't need to get into that. So just be nice to other people that are near you. That's the best you can do. Wow, heavy. How can I not end on a heavy? I don't have anything. Heavy.